And this morning he took me in and he spoke to me first off, and he said the resolution to defend, protect, and rebuild a nation standing to protect the children, family, and faith has been imparted unto Donald John Trump in ways that cannot be denied. And so he spoke this to me, and I was taken actually then into the spirit. And for me, it's like, I'm there. It's like I'm in the room, and here I am, and there I see President Trump. He was alone. I'm taken actually into a room watching him. Okay. And to me, it was like the night before, a big announcement, the night before, when you're kind of preparing and posturing. Yeah. And so he was there and very sober. It was in the early hours, of the morning and the night watch. And, he was somber, and, he was reflecting at the information that he had and the intel that was at hand. But above that, he was in a posture of prayer, knowing what was coming and knowing what was going to have happen in a way and along the way, and in order to defend and protect the nation from the enemy within and from the enemy from the outside. And so, he was evaluating that. He was carrying the weight of that in a place of somber kind of intercession. And the call was clear. And it was this, and it was to bring freedom to the nation and to the nations. And so once again, one people, one blood, we the people, by the people, for the people, one nation under God.
Yes, Lord.
And this was what all of the things collapsing, all the things going on, this was actually what he was standing up. And so I saw this mantle upon the president, and I mean, it was so clear that it was to bring justice and freedom to many nations.
Yes, Lord.
And he had a humility, like he didn't carry it lightly, but he had a humility and a strength and a resolve, like no other. And he was sober as he reflected on the next steps, and I knew that he was having to make some hard decisions. But he understood the call of the Lord on him, and I could see that he was not going to make a move, not one, unless the Lord's timing was perfect, and it was led by him. And so I was taken out of there, and I'm taken into another room, and now I'm kind of behind behind a curtain, behind a stage, where I saw President Trump preparing to address the nations and the nation. And basically, it felt like a big press conference. There was like the world press was there. And, in the midst of that, he was also preparing to meet and deal with world leaders within an authority that was upon him that only comes from God. And honestly, Steve, it was like a moment of biblical proportions. And there was the event that had just taken place had left a wake around the world that had been a long time coming. And so with that, I'll say that there had been an event that internationally had shaken the world.
Oh, wow.
And had left, a wake, a void. And so this was the very moment at hand to bring the truth, the justice, and the righteousness forth for all to see in the aftermath of what had just happened. And the uncertainty, with the people, of the fallout and all that would be involved. And so as the Lord put President Trump in position for broadcast and to broadcast, he was surrounded by dozens of generals.
Wow.
That came in and stood at his side. This was like a briefing like we'd never seen before.
Wow.
And they were shoulder to shoulder. And I mean, the couple of dozen that I saw, they were a representation. I knew there was many more generals behind the scenes that were involved, but these were kind of the ones on the forefront. And so they had been able to take down and take out the cabal, the deep state, and Illuminati foundations that controlled things for far too long. And I saw the Lord himself, the Lord of hosts, led them step by step, inch by inch, to eradicate these evil and demonic regimes once and for all.
Wow.
So Steve, as I see this and I see the dust settling, on the nations, there began a reestablishment of kingdom governance that the manifest sons and daughters had been created for. And I saw like the Lord himself, he was reestablishing the 7 mountains for his purposes. So we have great days ahead. He was reflecting on everything that had happened, everything that was unfolding. And he was in a posture of prayer early in the morning. He was the only one in, like, the house was dark. Like, he was up early. He was by himself.
Okay.
And he was just postured in a place of contemplative, sober prayer and reflection. And to me, it felt like he was coming in as low as he could with the Father for what needed to be done.
Wow.
In that position of humility. And so that's what I saw. And I believe that's very, very close in this moment. And God's preparing his people to step into that. Not only Trump, he's preparing others to step into these places of vacuum that are going to be left.
Yeah.
So on October 1st, Holy Spirit woke me through the night, and it was very short and sweet, but this is what he said. He said, Barry, tell my people that this is a new year, that they will forget not. The war that they are unfolding is as staged as it gets. Staged as it gets. For they have had their plans in place from millennial, and yet they do not realize what they're up against, nor did they consider the consequences of what they have started. And so that came to me on October 1st, and I go, Lord, and so I just kind of put on the back burner, like, Lord, what do we do with this? In this moment, this is what I understood, is that the deep state, the cabal, the Illuminati, these guys, they had planned and orchestrated these things for their benefit, and but they didn't count upon the Lord and what they've opened up, because what they've started, the Lord will finish. There aren't enough prayers that are going to be able to stop this, because the Lord himself, as I understand what he's shown me, he's coming in, he's collapsing these things.
Yeah.
He's taken Babylon out of the way. He's taken these things so that we can live in a kingdom bandwidth.
So good.
That we're seeing the crash of the prophetic and new governance, and like where we're seeing this literally playing out, right now in tangible ways. And so then on the 16th, I wake up in the morning, and through the night, I'm praying, and something percolates in me. Like sometimes there's kind of this percolation in my spirit.
Yeah.
And so, until he brings it and births it, or brings it forward, you don't really know what it is. But anyway, when he did bring it, I'd actually released it out on my, little platforms right away, because it was for immediate release. But he said, Barry, tell my people that things are being staged to roll out across the nations in this very hour. Let it be known that there is nothing going on of which I'm not aware. For there is a storm coming quickly across the land, and there's nothing that can stop it. For you will watch it and see powers and principalities taken out around you by the power of my name, for I am the Lord of hosts. For who set the boundaries of the oceans and the seas? For that was me. For who was it that set the mountains on their foundations? That was done by no other than I. And who was it? Who divided the day and the night and put the sun, moon, and stars in their place? Again, that was done by me. And who gives life? And who can take it away? For again, it is I. And who knows the days of your life and knows the number of hairs on your head?
Yeah.
No one but I. For there is no enemy that has power over me. For there are evil ones, rulers and regimes that run from my name and my kingdom, truth, righteousness, and justice, to follow the evil demonic plans, the enemy of the enemy that brings death and leaves destruction in their wake. For they will stop at nothing to fight against my kingdom and my dearest children, bringing destruction and oppression in every way. So let me be clear and let me be straight and hear my word on this day, that I will not be defeated. I will not back down. I will not back up, and I will not relent.
Yes, Lord.
I will not enter a false peace treaty with the enemy, that I will not tolerate this oppression and destruction upon my people. For I have come to destroy the works of the enemy, and destroy it I shall. For that storm that is about to hit shall shake the nations. So do not be shocked and do not be surprised when you see things flare in your midst. For the enemy has planned ahead and planted those among you to cause havoc and chaos from within your borders. For there are enemies on the enemy's payroll and are on standby in this hour. So fast and pray with me, as I shall expose each and every one involved on every level and bring justice to the nations.
Yes,
The
Lord.
enemy shall be flushed out for all to see, and there will be not one who is not impacted. It shall shake people out of darkness into my light, and it shall shake down everything as you've known it. For you will see the greatest awakening you've ever seen, and you'll see nations saved in a day. For I'm positioning those in this hour to rule and reign with me as the manifest sons of God. So search and prepare your hearts in this day, and draw yourself unto me as never before, for the best days are ahead, and holy is the word of the Lord. I believe with what is coming to rebirth our nation here in Canada is also what's coming to rebirth America into the destiny that God has over her. And so I actually see tearing down of these systems, the corporation of the United States of America, the corporation of Canada, that file at the New York Stock Exchange. I mean, we've been living under a lot of illusions, and I think a lot of the pilfering and a lot of the, the money laundering that's happened out of these areas, God is taking and he's bringing recompense back. And this wealth transfer that's coming back to his people as he does this is going to be big. And the rebirthing of America, I'm going to say the Republic of the Republic of the United States of America, one nation under God.